Okie dokie. Hey. Hey, F-Skater, what's going on? Give me 1 second to grab the playlist. I forgot I was not in studio mode, so, that happened. How you doing? I don't know who else is here, but, how you guys doing? Good evening. Hello, friends. Wow. We have so many friends here. Alrighty. I may have pressed the go button too soon, so, you know, you gotta wait for me to set things up. Okay, here we are. Beautiful. As usual, let me know if the music's too loud. Hey, tablet, you want to turn on maybe? That'd be great. No, you're gonna go to sleep? Ah, there we are. Well, when Nugget gets here, we're gonna go over some, perspective stuff. Nugget was showing me, some stuff from the work they're doing, so we're gonna do that for a little bit. And then, oh yeah. And then I think I'm actually going to, as much as I feel bad about it, I know I have to get Mage Winter's commission done, and I'm trying to find time to do that, but I really want to work on the Jahordi, like, I want to work on fixing up the species sheet, so I might spend a little time tonight, coming up with a layout for that, so... Oh, thank you, F-Skater! I'm actually working on an updated version of it, because I haven't touched that background piece in 2 years now, so, we got, This guy is kind of like the updated version of it, so the... kind of hard to show it, but... all at once. But... got a little, you know, a little bit different. Trying to update the art a little. But, yeah, so that was my concept smudge. So one of these days, we'll get back to that. But I wanted to... So one thing I wanted to do tonight was I made this monstrosity a little while ago. And I want to reduce this sheet down into, like, I'm thinking, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, like, 5... It's gonna be so many pages. I want to try to reduce this sheet down so that there's, like, way less information in such a big thing, because it's so huge. And it's hard to read, and it's hard to upload, and I don't know how I would ever print it, so if I ever wanted to do that. So I'm thinking I was gonna try to cut it down, but maybe that's not such a good thing to do on stream tonight, because it's so big. It's gonna take me a little while to figure out what I want to do with it. It's on my Tumblr. It's on my Tumblr, but, it's pretty hard to read, because it's so huge. So, yeah, maybe... Yeah, it is. These are my bird people, my Jedoa. I want to redo the sheet, number one, because it's really hard to upload it anywhere, but also because they look different now. Let me grab... Like, see, they were really tall before. I had them have, like, tall legs, and they were, like, human shape, but then I made them short, and I kind of liked them short better. You can go to Tumblr without it here. Let's dive into the scary world of DeviantArt for a moment. DeviantArt has been scary the past couple of days, so let's, hop on in here. This monstrosity. Oh, I can't copy it. Flip. Well, that's where it is. Just remembered just realized I can't, Just realized I can't post the link from my laptop into the chat on my desktop. That's not how that works. So yeah, if you guys want to see me fiddle around with boxes for an hour, you know, I'll work on that, but you don't do. All the information on this sheet's staying the same pretty much. It's just the pictures are going to be a little different, and the sheet's going to lay differently. So, okay, let's, is Nugget here yet? Nugget, are you in the chat? Brenderino? You are not. Okay. Let's fiddle with this sheet for a little bit. Do 8x10 at 300 DPI. Good. 8x10 will make it good for printing if I ever want to print it. I kind of thought it might be fun to, thought it might be kind of fun to print the thing at some point, but... So, there's 4 major sections to this sheet, as detailed to me by Ribbontail. If you guys have never heard of Ribbontail, go check out her work. She's incredible, and she's super duper nice. But Ribbontail informed me of 4 different categories she does. So she does... I don't know if you guys can see that. You can, okay. So, there's physical things about your species. So anything that's, you know, appearance... or biological. Anything about them goes in one section. I included an extra section here for life cycle stuff. Anything mental has its own section. Anything about society has its own section. And anything about, like, language and stuff has its own section. So there's, like... My boxes are a little more divided up, but she gave me some pretty good tips on how to break some of these down. So I'm gonna try to, simplify this. So maybe we'll just do one page. Maybe we'll just focus on the appearance panel and go from there. So I want to keep the header the same. I like this header style, but I'm gonna have to compress it if I want to put it up here again. The logo can go there. Their emblem can go here. Try to fit the stats in here. I might have to compress the stats a little bit. Charting. So, I don't know if the stats are going to fit in this space, but we'll see. Then, let's do... I guess we'll do... we could do 1 box for bird friends standing. And we could do 1 for... faces. 1 for hairstyles. And then we could do the tails, and the tail and arm box can pretty much be exactly the way it is. We could put footprints in down here. And that I think that would be good for, I think that would be probably, if I can fit all the information into this block, I think that'd probably be pretty good for, I think that's probably pretty good for, just the basic sheet. Just for the, like, just their appearance. Nothing else, just appearance. You don't necessarily have to have that much information, I just went nuts. Ribbontail does big species sheets like this. That's where I got my, up the end key. Oh, I should just go to Ribbontail. I remembered her username. Like, Ribbontail went into a lot of detail on hers, and I was really inspired by that, so I contacted her and asked if she could help me. And she kind of walked me through how to do it, but she makes these big, huge species sheets also. And, I just thought it was so cool the way she goes through it. Like, she hasn't filled it in with pictures, but she's got ones for humans. She's got these cool, like, weasel things. Kind of enjoy them quite a bit. It's always good, I think it's always good to have more information than not enough information, but, you know. Okay. Now, the real question here, though, the question that arises is, should I guess I should probably clothe my Jedoa. That would probably be a good thing. So let's do that. Let's, clothe them. We'll derail, if Nugget shows up, I'll derail the conversation for a little bit to, talk about perspective, because perspective is shit, and it's the worst thing ever, and so I will share what little I know about perspective with you, but, you know. Alright, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna... Actually, I might just grab these guys and draw the clothes on them. I like these guys the way they are, and I think they'll be a good first... first look, I think. Yep, they're fucking huge. It is bird night tonight. Yes, tonight is bird night. What's on this light? Why is this layer so long? What the hell? Why is the bounding box on this layer so big? Weird. Okay. Anyways. Alright, so we'll take them. Is this really 8.5 by 11? 8.5 by 11. They seem really, really big. For 8.5 by 11. How big is this image? Oh. Yeah, this image is fucking huge. Okay. Well, sorry guys, I guess you're shrinking. I'm gonna not do the clothes. Let me just slap these guys on here just to make sure they're even gonna fit in this format, because I don't know if they are, so... I need to change my description? Oh, is it still say Ori and the Blind Forest? I changed the title of the stream, but I forgot to change, Yeah, absolutely. Way better for it to be too big than too small. It's so much easier to compress an image than it is to increase an image by too much. Oh, yep, I didn't change Ori and the Blind Forest to, creative. Sorry about that. Alright, if you feel like facing an ad, if the title bothers you that much and you wish to, face an ad, you can go ahead and, refresh the page. Or not. Done. Wanna update that, please? No? You're just gonna fucking not? Okay. Alright, well, anyways, we're just gonna let that do its thing, I guess. What? Candera Bold? Why not have Candera Bold? Oh, I am in creative. Yeah, okay, so if you feel like facing an ad, you can refresh the page and then the, description. Correct, but... Why do I not have that? That sounds like a basic font. Stop. Fish. Quiet. Very, for Mac. Not a robot. Download this one. Thank you. They are, they're very Egyptian-based. I want to try to push it perhaps a little bit away from that and a little bit more towards editing or rendering the layer. Cause this layout to change? Okay. Not what I asked. Oh yeah, this'll fit fine. This'll be alright. Greetings, Crusher. Welcome. We have friends. Why can I not edit this text layer? I can edit this text layer. Weird. So that does not need to be 200 pixels. Let's put that out there. That does not need to be quite so big. That can be way smaller. In fact, I'm just gonna resize this the way I want. You yelling at me about this computer. Stop it. That should adjust there. Right. Guess we're not copying and pasting the information. Yeah, so anyways, where I was going with that before, I don't know why my computer's freaking out about this text, is, that, they're based mostly on, like, ancient Egyptian culture, but I want to start incorporating other things like, Middle Eastern and Indian, basically. Hello! Hi everybody, how you guys doing? Not even 100% sure why I was using this particular font, by the way. Alright, so now we get to play the fun game of, I turn layers on and off until I find the layer I'm looking for, because this document also has, like, 15 million layers on it. Not on that layer. Must be in this lip. It's in the images folder. Mention that. Guess who also didn't label anything? This kid. Oh boy. There's a lot of images in this folder. Did I consider that this would bite me in the ass someday? Nope. Their footy print. Imagine it's one of the layers that doesn't... This never works, but let's try it. Auto-select the layer. Yeah, that actually worked. Alright. Let's start labeling things. How about that? That seems like a good plan. That seems like something I should be doing. That looks... for good. For good. And this Jedoa text box can go lack. Oh, so that's why I don't leave auto-select on, because then you literally select everything. Can you not select everything? Thanks, though. Up that. How's everybody doing tonight? That's awesome, Crusher. Is it just like a turnaround for your character? That's pretty cool. Or like just an image? If you want to share it, go ahead and post a link in the chat. We like to see your work. Or your beautiful work. Oh, I labeled this folder. That's good. Glad I did that. And you know, literally nothing else. Aw, sorry to hear it's not going so great. Well, hopefully being here hanging out with us will make it better. See, repurposing the sheet's nice and easy because I can just like that. Okay. I literally have no idea. Can you not, though? Here, what the fuck? Oh, that's pretty awesome, Foogly. So are you pretty much ready to start your winter break, then? I wanted to have all this stuff done before I streamed, because I didn't want you guys to have to sit here and just watch me fiddle with boxes for, like, an hour, but I'm gonna fiddle with boxes for a little bit, so just fair warning, that's gonna happen for a little while. It's just a box. It is just a box. Interesting. Now, this overlapped a little bit. These all can come down a smidgen. Okay, never mind. Everything's staying exactly where it is because I don't know. I'm not gonna fiddle with it. And actually, we could just do that, and then it could be just like the other sheet. It'll just have two different tones to describe where it is. We'll crop that in to lock that into place, and then... we also gotta center that nonsense, because I didn't mean to center it vertically. I just hit that button out of force of habit. Alright. That's a good question. I was trying to diversify the appearance a little bit. More like if you look at the silhouettes in this piece up here, everyone kind of has a defined, and these were really shitty. Like, I literally didn't do a drawing over this first. I just took the marker and I was like, yeah, that kind of looks like a thing. These were, like, if you put the Jedoa here next to the humans, they're almost the same silhouette. They're obviously different because they have bird legs, and a bird face, but they're a similar height to two of the other species, so I shortened them a little bit to give them a more of a unique silhouette. Because now they're completely unmistakable. They've got a very long torso and very short legs, so it's not, there's no way to mistake that they're a different species from everyone else when they're in silhouette. So just to make them a little more interesting, but also I've always pictured them being smaller than everyone else by quite a bit, and kind of just, it seemed like the logical progression. It seemed like where I wanted them to go. Anytime I pay close attention to other people when I'm out in public. Like, I check out other people, because I'm creepy like that. Yes, yeah, the lizards definitely got bigger. I'm gonna stick these in a folder called layout so I don't forget what I'm doing. Yeah, so, yeah, they definitely got bigger, because the thing with the Veos was that I really wanted the Veos to be, I wanted them to be big, but I didn't want them to be as big as the Noldaru. I wanted the Noldaru to be the kind of thing where people talk about how big they are. And, like, one of their key features is the fact that they are massive. And so I didn't want the Veos to be huge, which is why they're so small in the silhouette on the original sheet. But I also kind of like the idea of big lizard people, so that's why I gave them this kind of stance, so that they can have a small silhouette while still being huge. So when they stand up, they're as big as an Noldaru, but usually they're on their hands, because that's how they walk. So, little bit of that. It was a lot of just balancing the silhouettes, wanting them to have a little bit more unique of an appearance. But anyways, what I was gonna say was, I like to people watch, because I like to see what features on other people I like and see if I can incorporate them into anything, and I'm kind of creepy like that. But, there was one summer we were at the beach, and we were walking along the boardwalk, and I saw this very tall guy walking with his girlfriend, who was very short. I mean, he was like 6 foot, and she was like 5'10". She was so small, and it caught me off guard because of the size difference between them, and that's why I looked at them, was because she was so small compared to him. But then all I could think of was, like, she is exactly the size that I picture a Jedoa would be. And if I were a creepier person who was also not an awkward human being, I probably would have walked up to her and been like, can I take a picture of you for photo reference for something that is not going to look like you at all? But I'm also an awkward human being, so that never happened. So, you know, basically that. Oh, okay, Altair. I kind of recognized your username anyway. I think maybe that's what you logged in on Twitch, so, or on Discord when you first joined, so maybe that's why I recognized it. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. The Veos are dicks. That's kind of their thing too. They're big and they're mean, and you know, that's their deal. I was actually talking to Nugget about it a little bit last night, trying to figure out, like, their story, and we were talking about how, and I don't know how true it is, or how far it goes, but we were talking about the fact that, like, crocodiles can get to be huge, and it's because they just kind of don't wear out, supposedly, and, so they kind of just get big. And I kind of thought that might be a fun concept for the Veos. So nobody really knows how long a Veos can live to. And that's going to be like down here in the life cycle section. I have these little quick stats about the Jedoa, like how long they can live, how often they have children, you know, that kind of thing. I think I'm gonna put in the Veos their little quick stat block. I think I'm gonna put, like, no one knows how long they can live, because none of them have ever lived to a natural age, because pretty much every Veos that has ever lived got killed by someone. Like, oh, thanks, Golem. Yeah, so they get huge, and they fight all the time. Like, that's part of their culture, and if you die, it's kind of like, well, I guess you sucked. Like, you know, if a kid, like, if they have kids, like, they'll have, we were talking about this too, it was that the Veos will have, you know, they have children, and they might have, like, you know, 4 or 5 eggs at a time, and they sort of feed them just enough to like, keep them alive, but they basically make the babies fight against each other, and whichever one survives to adulthood is just a, you know, a good kid, and the ones that get killed by its siblings, they don't go like, oh, I'm so sad that one died. They just go, well, guess you sucked. Sucks to suck. Well, you're dead now, so too bad. And so they're really into fighting, and so almost no Veos have ever died, like, no recorded Veos have ever died from natural causes. A lot of them got killed by somebody else. Yeah, a little bit like the German barbarian tribes, so they're, hey, Volpine, what's going on? Welcome! We're talking world building. I was gonna work on Mage Winter's commission a little bit, but I'm a little bit burnt out on that, so I want to just do something for me. Not that I'm burnt out on the art itself, I'm burnt out just from today being today, so I want to work on my own thing for a little bit, but... I was actually planning to have, like, a several hundred-year-old Veos that's just covered in scars, and she's, like, the oldest, she's just the longest-lived one they've ever seen. Aw, thanks, Golem, for the follow! Welcome to the Artsy stack. If you're interested and want to join the community, I don't know if you're an artist or anything, you don't have to be, but there's a Discord link in the space under the video if you're interested. But yeah, welcome. I appreciate the follow. So yeah, so that's them in a nutshell. What am I think for the past, like, 5 minutes I've been talking, I have just resized these windows aimlessly and have done absolutely nothing. So, I was deciding what I wanted to do next. Let me, alright, let's actually resize a thing. Let's do something productive for a moment. I would like to turn this sideways. No, actually, yeah, I gotta turn this sideways, because I'm gonna put heads and hair there, and then I'm gonna put this box, okay, I said this box can just stay away. Okay, so we'll just keep this one on its side, just... They're still very much in progress. They are infants in the world of world building, but someday they will get there, and someday they will be finished, but for now they are but babies. Oh, so, speaking of babies, I can't tell you what the specific product is, because NDAs and everything, but we got samples in for a toy today, or yesterday, rather, and one of them was a toy that they used my artwork for, and it was, like, the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, they were like my children, and I was just holding them, and I just put them all over my desk, and then they took them away from me because they have to go to a show tomorrow, so, like, they took all of them from me, but I was like, they're my children! I made them! It was so cool. Like, I can't wait till they get released now, just so I can talk about them. Oh, it was awesome. Side note, side tangent, that has nothing to do with world building, but they're my babies, and I'm so proud of them for existing. Alright, paste that layer style. Beautiful. That shadow does not need to be so deep, though. It's amazing once you shrink it down how bad some of the layer styles look. Let's rein you in just a smidgen. Thumb up here. There we go. And a little less size? Yeah, a little less size. Helps, okay. Anyways. Well, I'm glad you're interested, Kulim, because we're gonna work on this for a little while. No, I have not based any of them off of tropical birds. The Jedoa are really... I have them kind of specific as far as what they look like. They sort of, again. Fine, do the thing. Wait, why do I not have that font? Why do I not have any of these fonts? What is this font? Why do I not have any of the Kandara fonts? I thought that was like a basic font. They would look super neat. The reason I never designed any, was because, there was a reason. Verify you're human, I know. The reason I never did it was because they're more based off of desert birds. They're based off of things like... Shut up, computer! What are you doing? They're based off of, desert birds, mostly roadrunners, which sounds really specific and weird, but they are based off of roadrunners, specifically because they're kind of that short, funny-looking brown, like they're all brown, and I've added it that the male Jedoa are the only ones that have any kind of color on them, and the colors are more like an accent. So, no, I don't have any tropical ones, but I'm certainly not opposed to having, you know, like some of them, maybe the ones that move down into, you know, human territory, you know, maybe they, also bolded, it looks, oh, it's yeah, like finches and pigeons and stuff. A lot of their hairstyles are based off of, pigeons, so yeah, they're a little different, but that, and then, so here's the part that I'm afraid of. I'm afraid this is not gonna fit. Can you shut up, please, computer? Knock it off. Why are you so upset about this? No, I literally downloaded that font. You guys watched me do it. This, oh my god. I forgot how bad this folder is. Date add, hang on, this way. Add this font, please. Install this font. No, shut up, computer. Install it. Install the thing. God, I hate the text, the font thing. We're gonna close this sheet, and I'm gonna reopen it because it's clearly unhappy about something, so... Yeah, Golem, I think if I ever did, other species of them, like other bird species, but... Change it back to the right font. What is going on with my font right now? Interesting. My computer is very upset about something. Okay, let's just put the text in. That's fine. We're just gonna put the text in Myriad Pro, and I will figure out what on earth is going on with my, font book in a little while. We'll just figure that out another day. That is an issue for another time. Also, this is not going to be nearly as difficult to place as I thought it was going to be. I wish that it would stop yelling at me about changing the font, though. That would be nice. Liz. Now you can see how I do, now you can see how I do dumb, graphic design shit. I mostly just yell at my computer a lot because I don't understand how program works. Yeah, all the spacing on these needs to be fixed now. I just want to throw the information in. My world in a nutshell. Everything is an anthro and nobody hates each other. Except everyone. Except for the Asenians. The Asenians hate the, Asenians hate the Veos, and the Veos don't really like the Asenians that much. Alright, Volpine, have a good night. My computer is being very rude. He's yelling at me a lot. And then we're gonna need a new compressed height chart. Let's just... that box there. Alright, that stuff actually all fits a lot better than I thought it was gonna fit, too. Like, I thought I was gonna have to shuffle these around and, like, fiddle with sizing, but they actually fit alright, so... That's good. You're fine, I decided I would wait till you got here. I haven't really... So, there's, like, specific species I have, like, how people feel about each other for them. Like, specifically the Veos and the Asenians, these two, which is unfortunate because I put them next to each other on this sheet. But, these two really don't like each other, like, a lot. Because, so the Asenians, their, like, religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs, they revere, these 3 really ancient dragons. And so one's a sky dragon, one's an earth dragon, and one's a water dragon. And they believe that they're, like, you know, almost like gods. And, the Veos worshipped the earth dragon as a god. But then, I haven't decided the reason why specifically yet, but at some point they were like, why do we need a god to tell us what to do? Fuck it. Let's just get rid of it. We don't need this god to tell us what to do. So they went and killed the earth dragon. And the Asenians, of course, were not happy about that. So the Veos and the Asenians don't really like each other that much because the Veos basically killed the Asenians' god. So, that's kind of them in a nutshell. They were like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, they did. There's also, like, one of the major plot points I would have in my story would be, like, the ramifications of that. You know, what happens if you kill a creature that is considered a god, or a godly creature? And specifically what happens, if you're curious, is that did I spell the name of that font correctly? Because it's very upset. And I definitely downloaded that font. Go to DAW font. Download. So specifically the thing that happens is that, all of the... Again, I haven't really decided how magic works yet, but the magic or the energy or whatever it was that was in the dragon when they killed it seeps out of its corpse into the ground, and so all the land where the Asenians and the Veos live becomes poisoned, and, like, it becomes such a desolate wasteland of just jagged ground and dark sky because nothing can grow there now. So it's sort of like a, it's sort of like a natural ramification for killing such a ancient creature. I haven't decided if it's like a magical element or if it's a very natural thing. I haven't decided exactly why that happens, but, you know, sort of in a nutshell, that's what happened. They did, and it continues to haunt the planet for a very long time. Let's draw some things. I've been fiddling with this layout and just tabbing in and out forever. And I also saw Fooglies here, so we could fiddle around with perspective-y junk if you guys are interested. Yeah, they fucked up. They fucked up a lot. So, bird friends. Bird friends now are small bird friends. And let's grab. Oh, I'm gonna redraw a couple of these guys with the new face shape. So, like, got cheeks. Brow. The other thing is that they're become a little more forward now, so that's something that's a little different about them too. I didn't give this one much of a cheek, but I think all of them are going to have the little chubby cheeks now. I think it gives them a little something. Yeah, maybe it could be a little bit of both. There is like that's the other thing is like I was actually originally I was trying to avoid flat out saying yeah gods are real, but one of the major plot points for the humans is that something happens to their god on their like home island and they have to flee. The whole human race has to flee in order to escape the destruction that occurs when their god dies, and they end up in Lorhandel on this particular continent. So they don't come from this continent, which is sort of my way of explaining why everything is a bird or a cat or whatever. Like my lame way of describing why they're not, you know, they're the only like humanoid thing. But space. Yes, Nuggets Nuggets is like lizards in space. If I had to describe mine in a nutshell, it would be probably something like, I don't know, like, what if everyone was anthros? And Nuggets is, like, Lizards in Space, the musical, yes. Lizards in space, plus birds. Plus robots. It should be a musical. All right, Nugget, get on that. Get on that. Let's do a musical. Oh, my computer started thumping, and I was like, "What is?" I'm gonna save this. CC sheet part 1. My cat. Well, to hurry up and learn. Yo, what do you got? You got Jahordi, they're lizards. You got North Jahordi, they're lizards. You got you have kangaroo friends too. I forgot about kangaroo friends. Did you ever figure them out, by the way? I know you were having a little bit of trouble with their legs or whatever. There were other things besides the legs that were bothering you. I remember that. Mammals not allowed. Yeah. Two of my 5 races lay eggs, so, you know. I don't have that many mammals. I have mammals, just not that many. They are not the majority race here. They're a little... So these guys ended up a little bit chibier and more cartoony. Hey, you better get learning. We gotta get on this musical thing. Yeah, I love your lizards. They're so fun to draw. They have funny ears. I like them. Among other things, but... This eye is really big, and I'm probably gonna fix it when I get to the line art phase of this nonsense, but... also, fun fact, this sheet is so big. This sheet is, approximately 56,000, or, yeah, 5,600 pixels high. Because it was so big, I couldn't work on the art in the document because this document was so slow when I had that many layers open. I had to make a completely separate document, work on all the images separately, and then import them in flattened. So... I mean, yeah, sure. So, religion of our species, if anyone wants to share their own species. Cat, can you please not lay on my laptop, please? I would appreciate it. Very cute. Yeah, so the Jedoa worship these two, beings, which are, Arinak and Rakhora. They're the gods of the sun and the moon. And so the Jedoa worship them because in the desert, you know, temperature fluctuates quite frequently, and so when the sun's up, everything's hot, and when the moon's up, everything's very cold. And they worship those two. They're very into. That's why their symbol is a sun and a moon. They're very into astrology and astronomy. They find that very interesting. They believe that stars, you know, a la the Lion King, they believe that the stars are their ancestors, who have passed away, and they go up into the stars to live with, you know, their two gods. I think I want to draw this one. Enough falcon-looking ones, I think. So yeah, their religion is a lot about, you know, you do good in life and you do good for other people, and these things, when you die, the sky kite, you go and become part of what fuels the sky kites. They're bioluminescent, so you get incorporated into them, and they carry you across the sea, which to a Jedoa who's never crossed the sea and does not know what's beyond the horizon, to them that means, oh, the sky kites take you, you know, over the horizon into the stars, and you become part of the heavens, and you go and live with the moon and the sun. So falling stars for them, like, you know, meteor showers and stuff, is a very sad occasion for them, because they believe that means that one of, you know, a loved one may have lost favor with the gods somehow and got kicked out. I've based the look of, and I'll tell you why, I've based the look of the Jedoa a lot on Egyptian art, specifically because Egyptians always draw themselves in that very forced side perspective. All of their art is that, like, where everything is at a, you know, is right in line with the camera, you know, the viewer. And I thought that worked really well for the Jedoa, because their beaks are such a big part of their appearance that I imagine that they would have evolved drawing themselves in profile, because that is such a big part of who they are. You know, it would be like if, you know, humans draw themselves from the front because all your facial features are important, but Jedoa, I imagine, would draw themselves from the side because, you know, you want to show off your beak. You want to show off the shape of your beak. That would be like if people intentionally drew themselves from the side to show off their noses, sort of thing. Disney ripoff in the sense that my, you know, how, you know, Mufasa talks about how the stars are like kings of the past looking down on you. Like, I totally got that from Disney. I'm not even gonna pretend like I didn't. Like, that's not Disney's original idea. I'm sure someone else has said that. I'm sure that comes from a real world religion, but I got the inspiration from that particular scene. So, I don't know if it's stealing or not. I have not gotten that far with any of the other races, though. I have no idea how the other races would, you know, show themselves off. I haven't gotten that far. I know some things, I do not know all things. Do you think I should add a couple more? I'm kind of thinking if I draw one guy, like, here, and then one here and here, maybe? You know, get like a cluster of them in. I could always crop this guy off here. Ah, that's a Jedoa joke. Because they have a thing at the base of their neck called a crop where they store all their food. Jedoa jokes. I know a crop's a real thing in a bird, by the way. I know that's an actual thing that birds have. Don't worry, I'm not trying to copy. I'm trying to pretend like I'm original. Good question. Constellations, I imagine, would be like family groups, or like, you know, if you see so constellations specifically, as a celestial occurrence, are not actually things. Like, it's not like a star, you know. It's because a human looked at a star and said, hey, if you connect those lines together, they kind of look like a thing. And so, for me, I kind of feel like constellations for them would be them looking up at stars and saying, oh, hey, you see those 3 stars there that kind of make a little house? You know, that's that has to be, you know, that has to be mom and dad and grandma and grandpa, you know, like their constellations might be more of like, or maybe even simply just other people, you know, they just see, like, maybe it's an important figure in their history. But it's not like, I think, not necessarily like, I need to zoom out a little bit. Yeah, definitely, zoom out and look at their beaks. Throwing their beaks incorrectly now. I want to give them this little, like, area above their beak. Gives them kind of like a little nose bridge almost. It also gives me somewhere to draw the beak instead of it just being like, you know, slapped onto their face like plastic. Yeah, constellations are just art made of stars. So, not that they would not exist or not be a thing, it's just I hadn't thought about it. Is mostly where that conversation started and ended. One thing I never thought about, though, is, like, you know, celestial bodies that are, like, galaxies and stuff. Like, I don't know how they would feel about space, you know? I don't know if Jedoa would have, like, their entire reality just shattered if they ever found out space was a thing, you know? And I guess I get to avoid that for a little while because nothing in Lorhandle happens in space anyway, so, you know, I don't have to worry about it for now, but someday I might have to worry about it, and yeah, so, that. I mean, I suppose not everybody has to have a religion either. That's not necessarily... like, that doesn't have to be a thing, you know? Not crazy about that guy, but I'm just gonna leave him there, because... let's do this guy, and then I think we'll call it done. Here. Kind of bugs me a little bit that they're like... Oh, I didn't leave space for the text box. Hang on, let me copy this over and see how much space I need, because if I need... This text box is just mad. I'm gonna have to figure out why my, I'm gonna have to figure out why my fonts aren't working. Oh, not that small. You wanna change the font size, please? No? Not gonna do that? Peter, why are you like this? Computer, why are you like this? Stop. Don't do this to me. Peter, I love you. I don't think I've ever had this much trouble with, like, literally anything with fonts on this computer. Not that big. 24. A little bit smaller so that it looks like it takes up more space. Yes. Okay, yeah, that'll fit just fine, actually. Mine, hey, yeah, there you go. Maybe a meteor fell from the sky and, opened up a well of water underwater and gave them water, and so now they worship the meteor. I don't know. I riffed that off the top of my head. It made no sense. In Lorhandle, they're, like, pre-industrial. The humans have really advanced tech. Well, not really advanced for their time. The humans are kind of like almost steampunk level. They're starting to invent mechanical things. The humans are the most advanced. They are good at making the thing. They make good thing. They make many things. Somebody asked me earlier why I made the Jedoa chibi, and I'm realizing now as I'm drawing them, I don't think I meant to make them chibi. I think they just ended up being chibi, and I was like, sure, let's fucking go with it. Also, I hate this head, so we're gonna delete it. The humans, actually, one thing you could do, Nugget, is maybe look at, other religions in the world, or maybe not specifically just religions, but just belief systems from around the world. Because I'm kind of, the, Mantheians, the humans, their religion, quote-unquote, is more of a nationwide philosophy that everyone follows. It's not necessarily gods, it's just that everyone believes they're part of something bigger, and so they work together for this common good because that's what they believe is, you know, a thing. They don't think there's some all-powerful deity that's watching over them and judging their every move, but they definitely believe in, like, a balance of good and evil, and it's a little bit more spiritual than physical. So maybe you could do something like that with your thing. Oh, Gollum, yeah, have a good night, man. Yeah, if you join the Discord, we can chat with you anytime. I usually update when I'm streaming, too. But yeah, have a good night. I'm glad you stopped in for a little while. I always like having new friends in the stack. Have a good night. So. Gotcha. Yeah, so that's, I mean, that's certainly a way you could handle it. I want to put one. I don't know if I should, though. I mean, I could just redraw all of them. Let's just redraw all of them. Kind of got, like, grumpy man. I don't have to scooch everybody around again, because, he's not. Smidge longer. The other thing I felt kind of weird about making, so the one thing that is kind of weird about the Jedoa is that they have all these unique beak shapes, but they all eat the same thing, and I thought that was kind of awkward. And I sort of don't care, but had considered that as an issue. That it would make sense that one with a seed-eating beak would, but I hadn't really thought about it until it was too late. So this is where they are now. like to apply. Thank you. Actually, yeah, I guess one thing I don't know about your world, Nugget, like, is there extra celestial bodies? Do they have, like, more than one moon or more than one sun? Or are they pretty standard as far as their cosmos goes? I mean, I know obviously they can go to space, but out of curiosity. I'm gonna rotate her back just a smidge. Her in, there we go. Up. I cut off his eyebrow. and scooch her over. Hey, everybody fits on the sheet now. Yeah, deciding how many moons you have would definitely help. How does two suns work, by the way? I've always wondered how that works. I've never attempted to make anything that had two suns. Like, what is the science behind that? Like, I believe you that it's real. It's just. Good night, stop sign. See you later. Let's do hair. My hair. They are birds and they do not have hair. Have a good night. I mean, if you're concerned about it, maybe you could do, unless you have a plan for that, because I don't know that much about space, so. But if binary star doesn't work, you could always do binary moon. The weird thing about doing a character sheet like this, by the way, is that you end up drawing and making up characters, even if you don't need to. Like, this person that I am drawing right now is nobody. They are going to continue to be nobody. They are not a character, they are not... It's not like I decided that this person is a merchant, or this person is not a merchant. This person is just a bird person, and I am going to draw him, and I'm going to draw him with various different hairstyles. And you will never know anything other than the fact that he looks different in different hairstyles. And that's such a weird aspect of doing a sheet like this, is that you do end up creating so many different kinds of things. So they just must have, like, a really long, like, sort of year then, because they just orbit forever. I'm kind of thinking, even though I had a whole bunch of them down here, I kind of think maybe I'll just do 3 or 4 big ones. Maybe I could scooch. Like, I'm tempted to do a whole bunch, but I don't know if I can make them fit where they're still readable. Where they're still readable, I say, as I look at this document that is, you know, 5,600 pixels tall. 100%. Oh, look, it's your daily dose. By the way, it's your daily dose of, Binding of Isaac. Because this plays literally every time I'm on stream. I'm gonna draw a hairstyle on this guy just to do it, and do it. I'm having trouble spacing him because I know I have to leave room for the hair. Feathers. I have to leave room for the crest. I'm gonna start calling it a crest because that's what it is. I have to leave room for the crest, but I want to make sure I can fit a bunch of them because I would like to do as many as I did the last time. I just need to make sure I have the space. Okay, yeah, if I do 4 and 3. I could be able to fit a bunch. Make them bald. No, that made that one the opposite of bald. That one became just hair. That one also became just hair. God dang it. Missed one of them. No, I don't know where it is. Okay. Can't have the universe be dead. That wouldn't be very good. That wouldn't really. Dead universe isn't really good for world building. I spent a lot of time on this one, by the way. Like, I couldn't justify just giving him a feather mohawk, so I had to draw multiple layers of feathers in. I'm glad I had this document a little more organized than I have most things in my life, because making it very easy to pull information off of the other sheet and move it onto this sheet. Like, just wait till I start doing a new sheet completely from scratch. You will get to see the true chaos of my life. I'm gonna save that hairstyle for the guy. Because it's tall, and so I don't want it to cut into the text too much. So Jedoa, they pluck this crest on their head, in order to shape it the way they want. Some of them trim their feathers, but a lot of them just pluck until they just until they have the shape they want. Veas, on the other hand, carve their horns in order to get a particular style. They're wanting a certain look for their horns. Space Siberia. I can dig it. I didn't realize how much you had done, actually. Like, I've drawn a couple of your species, but I didn't realize how much you had, like, thought about. If that makes sense. Not that I didn't think you'd thought about things, I just didn't realize how much of it there was. Kind of like a pigeon. Cockatoo head. New name, Cockatoo head. The other nice thing about them being chibi-fied now is that I can do that with the back of their head and you won't even notice there's something wrong. And then let's do this. Real basic. Hey, there we go. We got some nice snazzy birds. I just realized I did not leave room on the bottom for the text box. Fucking Christ. Well, alright, shrinking all the boxes. I think they're spaced a little better that way too, so let's just pretend like that was on purpose. That was definitely on purpose. I totally didn't make a mistake. Don't worry about it. Not fret. Everything is fine. Not forget about text. Absolutely. Having more people around helps immensely. I wouldn't have come up with the idea of the I wouldn't have the Veas as, you know, possibly immortal destructive monstrosities if not for Nugget telling me about crocodiles not dying of natural causes. So, you know, that happened. Hi, cat. You're being extra squirrely. Ugh. You see that deleted layer? That was her. Will say hi? No? Oh, I don't know if you guys heard that, but the cat freaking out. I picked her up and she didn't appreciate it. Okay. We did that. We did the thing. Just realized that this is funny looking. To adjust that a little. Fixed. Yeah, danger species are fun. I have got danger noodles and danger kitties. And that's about it. Danger noodles and danger kitties. Mostly danger noodles. AKA a Veas. A danger noodle. Yeah, so the point of this, though, is that if you see if I fit this on screen, you can almost read all this stuff at this size. I need to maybe adjust the font sizes for, web a little bit, but you can read this without needing to zoom in too much. It's still super tiny, and but in fact, let's test that right now. Image size. We're going to put this on the internet at 72 dpi and at probably 1200 pixels because nope, 1200 height. Can you read the font? Yes, but it looks like shit. Okay. I'm gonna knock the font up on everything by like or don't. That's fine. 24. 1. 20. What are these? Oh, these guys are 20, right? Okay. Oh. Well, 24. 100%. That's better. Now you can read these. Alright, so I'll have to adjust some of the spacing and stuff on the letters because they're really tight right now, but I think that's a pretty good place to start. I'll try to fill in the bottom here a little bit. Try to think if there's anything else I want to do while I'm sitting here staring at it. Let's adjust it before I forget to do it, because I'm gonna... What is going on today? But... It normally adjusts this, like, as I'm doing it. But it's not, for some reason. Where are you going? Sometimes it helps to draw things differently than you normally would. The font. I already have this. Does this come in a not... What font was I using? Yeah, I was just using Zara. Why do I not have that? I'm so confused. Install, please. Bold? Different bold? Same bold? I'm so confused. Might have to pick a different font. Because I don't know what the heck my font book's doing with those. Actually, let me try something. Let me save. Let me close all this stuff. Let me quit Photoshop and reload it and see if that adjusts the fonts. Oh, hey, look, I see Kendara regular. It actually says regular now too. Hang on. Oh, I think I fixed it. Ah, wonderful, beautiful. I love it. Okay, this still isn't working, and that's a bummer. But can't win them all. Spacing a little bit. I copy the layer stuff. Oh, that's important. Oh, good thing this box doesn't actually have anything correct written in it. Fixed it! Yay! Bold is fine. Kendara Italic is fine, except I would like to make that 4 pixels. I'd like to make 120. Sorry, 24 pixels. 24 turning. I wish you could just copy that shit. You guys are seeing, let's make that's better. Oh, that looks so much better. Let's zoom in on some text for a little bit. I think on this one I just spacing a little. Yeah, that looks better. What are you working on tonight, Crusher? Got something going on? Just gonna be a long night? Oh, I thought that said religion. I was like, what? We're confused for a moment. Fun fact. Don't do fonts like this. Okay? I'll put that out there. Don't do your fonts this way. I'm an idiot, so... if you're gonna do a sheet like this, do your fonts the right way. Don't do it the way I do it. I am not a smart cookie. Getting confused where I am. If you were going to do this the right way, what you would do is you would go and you would get one text box for everything, but I am not smart, so here we are. Yikes, 4-page essay, that's kind of wild. Look at this sheet looking kind of okay. And let's change you guys back to the correct font. Because that's probably a good idea. Well, I'll have to scooch those over at some point, but let's work on something slightly more exciting than font. Gotta draw Jedoa butts again. Gotta draw Jedoa hands again, too. Got 5 minutes. Draw hands for 5 minutes. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's do the hands, since that's gonna be the part that I really don't want to do. So... do that. The hands are still pretty close, actually, but I want to make sure I get the new fingers down. Get yourself a little box. Yourself a little bump for your thumb. Your little thumb like this. One joint and third thumb. Little short, but once I get the other fingers in, you get one. Oh, and then a knuckle. Those are all his knuckles. Fingertip. You guys can all see how I draw hands. Say I do not draw them well. Hands are a necessary evil. Art. You guys are cool. You go to window, you go to arrange, you go to new window. Now you have 2 windows of the same document. Get a cool trick. I like this trick. Very long. Okay, let's hand the other way. Alrighty, have a good night, Foogly. Forgot I can't draw things here. Okay. I know this is very riveting commentary. Hand, thumb. Thumb? I just realized I forgot an entire finger. Not that you would ever notice. I just noticed it. And does not look as good as I would like it to. Okay, new plan. How did I construct this to begin with? We got... Switch this up here so I can see what I'm doing. Got his box, and got one joint. That's why I can't draw it. His fingers make no sense. Actually, they kind of do. This one's turned a little bit towards you. So, this hand... His fingers are about the same length as his hand, just like... Okay, well, I'll do the hands next time, I guess. Continue on with this little project, but I'm gonna work on this for a while, kind of in between stuff. I got a couple commissions to work on, but I want to get this whole sheet converted over to smaller chunks like this, so that they're a little easier to read when they're online, and then that way I can start fresh with the other species already in personal, their little shrunk down versions. So that's the plan for right now. We'll get into some more interesting stuff down below with buildings and stuff. I never did perspective for you, Nugget. I'm sorry. I'll do that real quick if you would like. I forgot. Maybe another night we can do it. I mean, there's no perspective on Rayarkra's piece. It's kind of one of those things where, like, so you have to pick your horizon line, and everything connects to the horizon line. So, like, say I want to draw a building right here. Oh. You get a vanishing point and a vanishing point, and you draw your lines. You can use the shift key. That's a lazy asshole. And you do that, and I mean, obviously, it's really easy to just go, oh, look, there's a box in perspective. There it is. Beautiful. You put a door on it and a window. It's a house. But it's almost impossible to do things that way. So usually what I do is, like, say I'm thinking about drawing... So say when I was thinking about drawing this, I knew I really wanted a building that was up close in the front, that was kind of, like in this perspective. So I just kind of drew this one in, like, straight on, you know? But the ones in the back I knew needed to go back in space so that you would have, this nice effect of going down the alley into the back of the city. So I started out doing this, and this is a terrible example because I actually don't have that much corner perspective. But you start out by drawing things like this, and so your horizon line ends up being like here. So this building comes back to this point. If you draw an invisible line from this building all the way back to this point, this is one of your vanishing points. So say these buildings are only this tall. This is as tall as these buildings are. They're real stupid short. So you would draw a line from this vanishing point away, and then you could draw a building here. But then, you're like, well, what happens here? How do you do this? Again, this other vanishing point is not... you can fudge it. Like, I usually build off of a building. So say I want the other rooftop to look like this. Say I like that look. I will draw from this rooftop down to a vanishing point, and usually the vanishing points end up way off your canvas, and I think that's one of the hardest things about doing perspective, is that to make anything look good, I have a really hard time with vanishing points that show up on the canvas. You almost have to put them off the canvas, and that makes it hard to work on stuff. So, you know, and then say I want to put a window here, but I'm not sure what, like, a good perspective for a window here is. So then you might draw another line, and so then you know, well, this is what the bottom of the window looks like, and then the top kind of lines up with that one. I don't know if that makes any sense, but, like, when I do perspective, I don't start with a vanishing point, usually, unless I have, like, a really specific thing that requires a vanishing point. I don't usually start with the vanishing point. I start with a specific building and try to draw it, like, just draw one thing that has an angle that I like, and then build everything else off of that. So in this case, you know, I liked this angle for the street, and all the, you know, stones on the street and the people walking and everything. You know, I liked this angle. So you kind of draw this imaginary line going back to your horizon, and then you just start making all these little stars off of this to start drawing things into perspective on, if that makes sense. That was my quick and dirty tutorial in 3 minutes on how I do things. Okay, well, actually another thing we could do is maybe one of these nights, you and I could just hang out on Skype for a little bit, and I could doodle some perspective and talk about it a little bit. It's kind of hard, like, I decided to do this really fast, but... Anyways, that's my fast 3-second tutorial on how I do perspective. And at some point you stop looking for vanishing points and you just start drawing, and if it looks like shit, then you draw your vanishing points. But for you, it might be good to draw back to a vanishing point just to get started, and then once you start getting comfortable with it, you can start fudging it a little bit. But with that, I'm gonna head off to bed. Thanks for hanging out with me. I always love hanging out with you guys, and I will see you tomorrow for some more Ori and the Blind Forest. And then, Thursday is more art. So, I will see you guys later on. Have a good night, friends. Bye.